There's tons going on this weekend, including Saturday, a huge car show, and a special guest who celebrated a birthday yesterday. So happy birthday to Butch Patrick. He joins us now here with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Who is Butch Patrick? Well, some of you may know him as Eddie Munster. Butch, thanks for taking time. Happy birthday. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Are we on the Zoom? Is it working?
We are on the Zoom, and it is working fantastic. We don't have to rehash the 2020 tagline of "You're on mute," so I appreciate you being ready and rocking and rolling here. Eddie Munster, obviously, it's a household name. Some of the younger generation might not know that name too well, but those of you who have been watching TV for all of your life know what the Munsters are and know Eddie Munster. First question out of the gate, of course, we'll talk about the car show, but how much has television changed since your time on black and white TV?
You know, it's funny, your opening statement about the multi-generational stuff, and it's amazing how many younger generations know the Munsters, whether it's because of their grandparents or their parents are watching it. I don't know how they came across it, or Rob Zombie's videos or his movie, but it's multi-generational in a really good way. It's one of the few shows that, grandma, grandpa, and the kids and the grandkids can all watch together and enjoy. And in fact, when I wrote my book, Munster Memories, it really just came to me about people sharing how much the show meant to them growing up and how I was like an extended part of their family. And I had no idea how wide and how deep that ran. But I'm really very lucky to have been blessed to be on a show that was really well done. And it kind of led to a fun horror genre and a comedy thing. And it just was like sort of a perfect storm, so to speak, that 60 years later, next year will be the 60th anniversary of the show, and it's still going strong, and especially in the car community because of the Munster Coach and the Dragula, which, and that, by the way, I'll be bringing to the show.
Yeah, absolutely. So Saturday, August 5th, that's this weekend at Cherry Hills Church here in Springfield. It's the 10th annual Abe Lincoln Car Show Spectacular, and of course, Eddie Munster, Butch Patrick's going to be there with the Dragula. Listen,
and the Eddie Chopper.
What is that?
I custom designed a Harley Davidson about 18 years ago for a friend of mine, and we were going to sell them as one-offs, but the builder decided not to do anymore, so we just had the one, and I bought it back from my club brother, my car club in New Jersey. So I'm now traveling with a Munster-inspired, award-winning motorcycle that we designed 18 years ago. That's really a great street chopper. It brings a lot of attention as well. So it's a nice 1-2 punch.
Yeah, fantastic. And of course, I mean, it's not just the Dragula and the custom Harley that's going to be there. There's going to be tons of vehicles there. And walking around these car shows is just fantastic because you see the passion people putting behind what could be a standard vehicle that they modify, or just the care and the love that goes into this. But seeing these iconic vehicles and then walking up and seeing the Dragula, I can imagine that you've got people who are 65 years old, like, oh my gosh, I remember seeing this thing on TV. And even people who are 6 years old saying, oh my gosh, what is this?
Well, for an example, originally the older people built the models. Oh my God, I remember building that. Now the diecast, there's the phenomenon's there, and they're really, really super popular. I'll be bringing a bunch of merchandise. I've got diecast, I've got T-shirts. When I bring my trailer along, it allows me to bring a lot of merchandise as opposed to flying somewhere. So when I set up my tent, so to speak, I've got a lot of great Munster stuff. People who collect Munsters, they love to bring their stuff out and get it autographed and or add something to their collection. It's really amazing how much merchandise has been licensed over the years from the Munsters. It's one of the probably most licensed shows of all time, maybe next to Star Trek.
That's pretty incredible. Now, how are you going to be appearing? Are you going to get that widow's peak that you're so famous for?
No, my widow's peak, my receding hairline is now normal, and I like it that way. But I will be in shorts because it's going to be hot.
It'll be a little warm. Yeah, we're looking at, maybe 85, 86 degrees, perfect. Humid. But yeah, get out there. It's this weekend. Abe Lincoln Car Show Spectacular. It's going to be at Cherry Hills Church Saturday all day. They're going to be doing a cruise Friday night to the area. Yep. So be sure to take part in that as well. Of course, Butch Patrick there. Something else, too, that's kind of fascinating. We talk about the evolution of television, and, when we only had like 3 channels at one time, now there's 800 some odd channels. But what about the interaction with people? I imagine back in the day, it was the thing to do if you saw a celebrity like Butch Patrick, you recognize him out of nowhere, and you're like, can I get a signature? Do people still get signatures, or is it more now they just want to get a selfie?
Probably more with the selfie, to be honest with you. The selfie phenomena has run amok, no doubt about it. But there's still, these signatures are still very important. Now, usually it's a combination. At the table, it basically is, I really would like to get a picture of you signing something for me and taking a selfie with me, especially with the Munster coach or the Dragula or the bike, whatever I have with me. So it's kind of a package deal.
Again, coming up this weekend, you'll be able to see him in person. Butch Patrick, better known as Eddie Munster. What are some of your most strong memories from that show? Obviously, you've got it encapsulated in the actual production that was on the TV, but what was it like behind the scenes?
Well, it's funny when at the end of my book, the guy said, I need your memory now. And I said, well, my memory isn't really of the show because that was my job. My favorite memory was being at Universal Studios, and when I had some free time to go explore, the 500 acres and the 17 sound stages and all the good stuff going on around there, because that's what a kid likes to do. So for me, being at the studio and having some free time was wonderful. But the Munsters memory itself, whenever the Munster coach was used in a show and we would read our script, I was always very excited for two reasons. Number one, I would be able to ride in the back of the coolest car on TV. But number two, they never did anything indoors with the car. So that meant we would be outside in the sunlight, which was very rare for the Munsters.
Talk about how the show has inspired a generation of this kind of comedy blend horror genre, and Rob Zombie really kind of breathing new life into a modern era. How close are you with Mr. Zombie?
Oh, Rob and I are good friends. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine, and in fact, I just came from Alice Cooper with the Hollywood Vampires. They just did their last show, and Coop is a big fan of the show. The Munsters, I'm very, very lucky that whenever, I like to fanboy out occasionally with certain people. Johnny Depp was one of them, to be honest with you. So it's fun to be Eddie Munster, because a lot of people who are in the industry and who are very, very successful were fans of the show and are fans of the show. So it's been a very nice ride for me as well.
Any rivalry with, say, the Addams family? Did you guys ever have any boxing matches or anything like that?
No, thank goodness. But luckily for us, it was interesting. That was one of the unique situations about the period, was the Addams family were on Friday night, we were on Thursday night. And although we were never head to head, people usually had one favorite or the other. But the neat part about it was they probably watched them both. So we both inadvertently helped each other's existence.
Fantastic stuff. Eddie Munster, Butch Patrick, greatly appreciate you taking the time, and you'll be traveling to Springfield with not just the Dragula, but also a custom-made Munsters Harley Davidson that people are going to be able to see, and you're going to have plenty of merchandise there. You're going to be shaking hands, kissing babies, taking photos. The whole gamut.
Feel like a politician, kissing babies and shaking hands.
So if people want more information about what you got going on, maybe get access to your book, tell us where people can find more about Butch Patrick today.
Okay, well, this is kind of hard. You might want to get a pen and paper. You go to munsters.com.
That's easy enough.
I've had that for 30 years.
Fantastic. Holy God, 30 years. Wow. What did you pay like $5 for it or something back in the day?
Something like that, yeah. It was something incredibly reasonably priced when they first came out, yeah.
Well, now hopefully it's as expensive or as valuable as, say, Apple stocks were, in the progression of the. Let's hope so. All right, Butch, thank you so much for taking time. It's a pleasure seeing you and hearing you, and a lot of people are going to be excited to walk into that car show this Saturday and see the Munster mobile there, the Dragula, and then they'll see a celebrity, Butch Patrick. Greatly appreciate you taking the time, and happy belated birthday.
Thank you so much. See you all tomorrow or the next day.
There you go. It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. And some other things about the car show as well. They're going to be honoring the Land of Lincoln honor flights, and actually a 100-year-old World War II veteran is going to be there as their featured guest, and just a whole bunch of other activities. You're going to be obviously just having a blast, checking all the vehicles out, seeing Eddie Munster in person, and more. So make that happen. That's this weekend Friday night, they're doing a cruise. Saturday, they'll be doing the car show, the Abe Lincoln Car Show Spectacular, the 10th annual at Cherry Hills Church on Saturday. That's just one of the events going on. You've also got at the airports, you've got the 75th anniversary celebration of the Capitol Airports, and they're going to have dozens of different aircraft on the tarmac in the runway for display. Kids are going to have a blast there. That's free to get into. You've also got the Muni going on. You've got just all kinds of activities. So no excuse to say, oh, there's nothing to do in Springfield. No, there's plenty to do in Springfield. All right, stay tuned. Coming back, we've got plenty more to get to here.